It's something that there is no end line. There is so much that you can learn. There is so much more that you can absorb. And uh, two examples in front of me who are kind of my guiding lights in this. One is my grandfather, like I mentioned. He was a doctor by profession. He actually wanted to become an engineer. That was his passion. But his father pushed him to do medicine in those days. We are talking of 100, 150 years ago. And he kept his passion for engineering. So he started his own manufacturing firm in spite of being a doctor. Uh, and he still loved baking and cooking, like I was mentioning earlier. So the value again that I've taken and I've really believed in is to not stop learning, to not give up, to start to keep trying new things and learning new things.
So I can say that your grandfather was a millennial because he wanted to have so many things that he would do, and he didn't compromise. He say, okay, I'm going to be a great doctor, but I'm going to bake for my family, and I'm going to have a factory. Isn't it amazing? Okay, so hardworking, learning.
Not stopping learning. The third value for me, which is just being myself. You would not find me trying to put up a facade, to trying to be anything but myself. I truly believe in keeping myself very transparent, very simple, and very genuine. It's very easy to try and put up an act and try and live an artificial life. I personally believe God has blessed us with what we are, who we are, and we ought to enjoy being that. And you can still do a lot. Not in fact, you connect better with people when you're not putting up an act. So the one thing that I truly believe in is being myself.
Authenticity. Sometimes, when we allow people the gift of being ourselves, one day I'm going to share with you did I share with you guys the story of Blessed and Grateful?
No.
Okay, so we have a story to share.
Okay.
And I think that when you are allowing yourself to say, somebody asks you, how do you feel on a bad day? And you could really say how you feel, you suddenly connect, even if it's not so great. If you have the mindset, I'm blessed, grateful, and sad. I'm blessed, grateful, and angry. I'm blessed, grateful, and something happens. So that's where you gain a lot of connection on a real way, because people can see, oh, he's not pretending that everything is okay. I can talk to him even when things are not okay. You give permission when you lead with authenticity, you give permission to other people to be authentic around you as well.
So true. Yeah, so those were the top three. The two additional ones which I believe in. One is I like to be connected to the people I work with. I wouldn't want to use the very nice sounding words of humility or empathy, or because I truly believe those are the end results of what you do. And I truly believe it's important to be connected with the people around you. It could be at work, it could be where you live, it could be the larger community. But it's so important to connect with people. And I'll again give you one small example, if I may. I'd heard of this story years ago when you attend different courses and whatnot. And I decided to implement that and experiment with that when I moved into Mauritius. So when I moved in here, this is about 9.5 years ago, I found a beautiful house in a very nice area, in a nice locality, in a gated community. So you've got this security gate, and you've got to cross it every morning while going to work and every evening going back home. And the first few days went by, and I would see this smug, smileless security guards every single day there. They would open the gate, they would let you out, they would let you in. So a few days later, and something which I'd heard in stories before, I decided to try it out. I just started waving at them and giving them a big smile. And I remember your stories in your session, Avi. And I just tried to do that. You know, the first day the guy was completely taken aback and surprised. The second day, he was a bit tentative. A few days later, as my car reached the gate, he was up there smiling and waving at me. And today, quite a few years later, it's so heartening to see every single time that they open the gate for any car going in or going out, they are waving. And all my neighbors, all the people in that locality also are doing the same. And I think it could be, you know, people here in Mauritius celebrate Diwali and Christmas equally. It could be as simple a thing as taking a box of sweets and just sharing it with them. Or it could be standing by one of the team members here in the resort and asking him or her about uh, his or her parents or family members and their well-being. Uh, you've got to be connected. And when I say connected, it's really an heart-to-heart connection, because that's what makes a big difference. It's made a big difference to me over the years with people I have been connected with because of their kindness. And I think it's just a human trait that we need to encourage more and more.
We call it in our practice delight, because actually, if you think about it, what you did, if you break delight into two, is you bring the light into someone else. And as a candle, when you go and you light another candle, you know the old story about that. You just make a bigger light without losing anything.
So true.
And you can see how the smiles bounce back to you and energize you. And I think one day we're going to be able to measure that as well, that to see how the energy really bounce back to us. So the fifth one.
The fifth one, very, very simply put, is try and spend time with the family. This particular one, I've never felt the need as much as I felt during the lockdown, which happened 4 or 5 months ago. Typically what happens with us hotel people, and if you had asked me this question 6 months ago or a year ago, maybe this would not have featured in my list. I think this is a value which, to me, I believe is a thing that I've learned of late. My days typically, or my time typically at home, used to be continually on mobile, you know, looking at guest emails or looking at guest feedback, or writing something to someone, or being on a WhatsApp, or being on LinkedIn, doing something. So it could be a family lunch together or dinner together. This was how I was. And to a large extent, unfortunately, I still am. But during the lockdown, when you're forced to be together 24/7, and you realize how fragile life can be, how fragile the world can be, I've learned that one important lesson, that you've got to spend quality time with the people who matter to you the most. I've been in the hospitality industry for over 25 years now, and I've never practiced that. But like they say, better late than never. So this is my value that I'm going to try and live with going forward.